Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another No Run Through review, and this time we are unfortunately doing, well not we, I am unfortunately doing Bloodborne, the card game designed by Eric Lang, a game for 3 to 5 players, so unfortunately it is not a 2-player game, for 14 and up, and it takes about 30 to 60 minutes by Come On Games, and also licensed by Sony because it is Bloodborne. Okay, so this one is a not a bad review. I mean, there's really no reason why we won't do a run through, except for the sole reason that this game just did not click with us. We played it with 3, and this basically is just a re-themed Cutthroat Caverns. Not even a re-themed; it's a themed Cutthroat Caverns, except it's in the Bloodborne universe now. There's a lot of other stuff in it, but I will say that I have never played Bloodborne, so I don't know if this is one of those games where you need to play the video game to like it, because I'm sure that a lot of the stuff in it would kind of make more sense, would be more, probably more cool, and if I can't even get the box off, it would be more cool if I had played the game, but since I haven't, this really wasn't for us. Now, the game... okay, so let me talk about the reasons why we didn't do it. So it just didn't click for us. I would much rather play Cutthroat Caverns. It works a little bit better. In this game, like, we didn't really screw each other over, but I knew, like, it was there. You kind of wanted to, but there was really no reason to, because, I mean, we just wanted to kill the thing. Like, in Cutthroat Caverns, it's just kind of, the cards that you get are more directed to attack each other. Not really attack each other, but kind of passive-aggressively, like, oh, I'm gonna dodge it. Oh, no, you trip! Or no, I'm gonna attack it. Oh, you trip! Or, oh man, I'm gonna have it hit you. Nope, it's actually going towards you. Stuff like that. This one, like, I felt it worked better as a cooperative game, even though that wasn't the point. Because whoever collects the most blood tokens, or blood echoes, wins the game. And I actually didn't even win. Kat won. She actually really kicked our ass. So this game kind of has a little deck building mechanisms in it as well, which, if you know, for any extended period of time, if you follow me, you know I don't really care for deck building. So, like I was saying about the theme, there are 5 final bosses that come in the game. Gurman, the First Hunter, Murgo's Wet Nurse, Vicar, Amelia, Rom the Vaucus Spider, and Mikolash, Host of the Nightmare. So you choose one of these to be the final boss randomly, or you can choose. And basically there was one that we did that was like, the second time each hunter is killed, they are eliminated from the game. Well, that's probably... I mean, that's going to happen a lot, so that's going to be a very, very short game. You'll probably never get to this, because you have a deck of monsters that you go through, just like you have a deck of monsters in Cutthroat Caverns, before you get to the final boss. And then there was another one. We did, like, Gurman, the First Hunter, all other monsters and bosses enter play with 2 additional blood echoes, so that would have been kind of nice. But we ended up doing Mikolash, Host of the Nightmare. Whenever a monster escapes, you add 1 random... So basically, what he does, he just keeps making the game longer. And that actually wasn't as bad as we thought. We originally were like, oh my god, we're never going to get to him. Because when a monster escapes, you basically have 1 round to kill it. If you don't, they run. That doesn't kind of make any sense to me, because if it follows the theme of Bloodborne, which is pretty much Victorian era Dark Souls, which I have played, it's like, why would they run? They're all evil, they're all trying to kill you, and I've seen Bloodborne played, like, I know what it's about. So, the fact that you really only have 1 chance to kill it before it runs away, but you're also trying to stop each other from killing it, so you can kill it, but if you don't let them hit it, you won't kill it. It all ended up coming down to turn order, and it's like, I get to kill it because I happen to be last, or I happen to have good cards in my hand. Like, so that was kind of a problem for me. And that was that was pretty much it. Like in the base game, this game is not expensive. This game is not long, so whenever you do die, and I mean even death isn't that bad. You just are kind of like, hey, I died, but all my health comes back. I just don't get to draft. No. You do get to draft cards. You get to actually. There's, like I said, there's a little bit of card drafting. So you have all these weapons. I wouldn't say all these weapons because there's quite like. I mean, there's a deck of them, but there's also obviously same ones in here. There are range weapons which are blue, and then melee weapons which are red, and then kind of like range stuff. That, I mean, so this is actually probably right here. This is about all the deck of cards that you draft from, and these are for the different starting people. And some of them are way overpowered, and other ones are not even worth getting, like Molotov cocktails. Let me see if I can find. Yeah, deal 1 damage to all hunters, including you and the current monster. 1 damage is not a lot, so we were just like, why would we pick that up? Like going out of my way to deal the other people 1 damage and the monster and myself. It's like, oh, that's stupid. And there were times whenever pretty much all we had to draft from were Molotov cocktails. So we just took it and went like, fine. Because you can only ever have 8 cards total. And when you do that, you have to start discarding stuff. I don't know. Like, what I did like about this game was, if it was cooperative, that would have been a little bit better. I like that aspect, because we pretty much just did work cooperatively, because we didn't find it, even in our best interest, to attack each other. It just happened to come up with, okay, well, I mean, I dealt damage, I killed it before you. That was pretty much all the cutthroat part of this game was like, hey, I'm going to play all my cards so I can kill it before you can get your blood echoes. That's pretty much it. Gonna put that over here so you guys can see it. My favorite part about this game was that there are 3 different tiers of dice. We also, I mean, we won the first time we played. Like, I assumed this game was going to be hard. We obviously got very lucky with the dice. So, you have 3 different types of dice, and obviously there's an unboxing if you want to go watch it. Green are for the weaker monsters, yellow's mid-range, and red are the tough ones. Well, on each of these dice, there's a little X. And what that means is basically the die bursts or explodes, which means that if you roll a number with that X on it, you roll again. And if you roll with the X on it, you just keep rolling until you don't roll it. Until you roll a symbol without the X. Now take that what you will. There are 2 ways you can look at that. One, oh wow, that's interesting. That gives an element of suspense and tension and difficulty. Okay, fair enough. Because it didn't happen a lot, but there was a time whenever a monster came up and it happened to be red, and it's like, and you obviously you add all the numbers together, so it's like, 4, what's 6, 8, 9. All right. There's another 4, so 13. Yeah, we died. We all died. Like, it hits us all. There's no way. You can't prevent damage. You can't block damage. The only way you can prevent damage is if you played a card that it was like Hunter's Dream, I think is what it was called. Those are all the monsters. Yeah, let me see if Hunter's Dream, which basically means any damage you take is halved and rounded down. So if it was 13, it would have been 6. Or 7, whichever one. So that happens, like you all just take damage and there's nothing else. No, that's your only defense. There's like no way to block it. So it's like, oh, well, that can happen. Okay, well, and then really the red one is pretty much the only one that can be rolled and kill you, but there's still a 0, so they can miss you. The other way you can look at it is, wow, that's completely retarded because of the fact that can happen, and you die before you even get a chance to play the game. Like, you just start out, first monster can come right out of the gate and kill you. And I think that's thematic. I think that's how Bloodborne is, actually. You just walk out and you have no... That's those types of games. You run out and without any knowledge of what you're fighting, and then you could die. That's how that works. But I can tell you that there are multiple people out there who won't like that. And especially if you're playing against like the spider, the one that basically is like, hey, if that's your first time dying, all right, if you die again, you're out of the game. you can die twice in a row without ever without ever getting to play a card, and then you just sit there and watch everyone else just plays. If I were you, the spider one I'd rip up, because that is not fun. Like, by a game where you're meant to screw each other over, if you die by them not screwing you over, you die by one die roll, and then another die roll, and then another die roll, and another. That's not fun. Like, that didn't happen to us, even. Like, I mean, the die roll thing, the die did happen. We died that way, and it all affected us. But could you imagine playing a game with that final boss, and then you guys don't even get to play? Could you imagine that? So, I didn't like that, and it's not like it's going to happen every time. It won't. And the argument against that is that, well, it's a 30-minute game, and it's very easy to set up. There's not a lot in here. You have, a bag of your blood echoes, which are nice. Like, watch my unboxings if you want to hear me talk about the quality, but you just have those. You have a stack of different types of tokens, which will eventually be your points at the end for the types of monsters you kill. And you have your dials and you have cards. There's basically 2 decks of cards, and that's it. It's a very quick game to set up, and that's what I really did like about it, was the fact that we played a 30-minute game, ran through it, and it was fine. So, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give this, it definitely wouldn't make my top 10 games I hate, because I don't hate it. If someone asked me to play, I would play it. Maybe a 6.5 is what I'd give it. 7 if I'm feeling real generous. But, like, if this was the only game available and someone was like, hey, you want to come play Bloodborne? I'd be like, alright, yeah, sure. But if it was like this and literally any other game, Komet even, I'd be like, sorry, I'm gonna go play Komet, because that has a little bit more to it. So, a good gateway game, I would say. If I was rating this on a gateway game scale, I'd probably give it an 8, because I think that as a gateway game it works very well. Like, to kind of get people into board games, you can be like, hey, have you ever played Bloodborne? And they're like, yeah, I love that game. What about this card game where we're kind of assholes to each other and we're trying to screw each other over because I secretly hate you? It does a very nice job at that. Not the screwing each other over part, the trying to get people into the game. I don't know. Like, I don't have a lot to complain about. I mean, the rule, it's a very simple game. On the back, basically, here's what you do. You choose that's set up. You all secretly choose your action cards. You can only choose one from your hand, and then you all reveal them simultaneously. And then if you have any weapons transform, which basically you can be like, it gives you a chance to see what everyone else is playing, and you can swap out your card. Resolve instant effects. Some are like, if you're the only one that's played a range weapon this round, you get to attack now instead of later. Every time you attack a monster, that's how you gain blood echoes. And then the monster attacks, and then so that's where you could die. After the monster attacks, you attack. You just resolve your card if you didn't earlier. Then it escapes if you didn't kill it. And then the Hunter's Dream cards, which that's what allows you to go draft and pick up cards. Max hand size is actually 7, not 8. And then that's how you heal. And that's the end of the round. And then you move on, and then you switch over the player marker, and you, yeah, that's it. Like, maybe if there was more. Like, I mean, it's Eric Lang, so I'm sure people bought into it. They're like, it's Eric Lang, he makes the best games. He makes pretty damn good games. Blood Rage and Chaos in the Old World are the ones that are coming to mind. But maybe if it adds expansions, more variety. The inlay looks like they're going to add more. So, I don't know. Even more bosses. Like, more final bosses would be cool. The only time I actually really liked this game was that... So, whenever I say monsters escape, I mean that if it says boss at the bottom, those don't run away. You keep fighting until they die. The minions basically run away, which still is kind of annoying. But that's it. Like, I honestly don't have a whole lot to say about this game except that it just didn't do it for us. It may work for you based on, the unboxing that I did and this video, this no run-through review. I don't know. It was just a miss for us. But I definitely don't hate it. I liked the theme, actually. That's one thing I didn't really talk about. I really like that gothic, dark, Victorian era kind of thing. I really would probably like to play Bloodborne over Dark Souls, except Bloodborne is only a Sony exclusive. But, I mean, maybe it's better with more people. 5 people, you probably have more chances to screw each other over. But at least it does not work with 3. So, there you have it, everyone. That is Bloodborne, the card game. Tell me what you think of this game if you've played it in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you want to help out the channel, I have my Patreon link right there. If you want to make some suggestions on board games you'd like to see us run through, I have my board game geek list right there. And if you want to just, like the Facebook page, I have my Facebook link right there. And have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.